That's because a lot of investors also don't understand the space.
Yeah.
They don't understand that this is $1 billion opportunity sitting right in front of them.
Hello, everyone. We're here for another session. I'm with Dele, co-founder and CEO of Kunda Kids. Dele, thank you very much for coming. I know you had a busy schedule, and I appreciate you coming here.
Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here. I wasn't going to miss it for. I wasn't going to miss it for anything.
Yeah. Wow. Nice. So, just give us a little brief introduction on Kunda Kids.
Interesting. There's a lot that we do. Kunda Kids, we're an EdTech and media company. And what our big goal right now is about raising global citizens. And what that means is Africa is missing in children's stories, right? And for any child, wherever you are all over the world, starting from children of African origin, you need to learn about Africa itself, and people that are not of African origin need to learn about Africa. Additionally, we also touch base on a lot of themes that school curriculum doesn't cover. We want to raise smarter kids that will be better adults, that will change the world that we live in. So at Kunda Kids, we do all of this by publishing amazing books. We make music, we make animations, there are games in our pipeline, and we have a Kunda Kids app that we use to distribute a lot of our stories. So that's Kunda Kids in a nutshell.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. So before we even go deeper into Kunda Kids, right, let's talk about, obviously, your background and the past. I know you were with Ward Remit at some point.
Yes.
Maybe you could just touch on that, and what led you into Kunda Kids, the vision around that.
So, interesting. I've spent a lot of my career in FMCG companies. I've worked at some of the biggest companies in the world. And then at some point, I kind of felt like, I don't think work should be this easy, right? I like solving problems, as you know. And then I decided to take a break from work. I went to do a full-time MBA at the University of Cambridge Church Business School. And after that, I left and I joined World Remit, where I was leading marketing for Africa, fintech. During the pandemic, did a lot of big things, drove growth, like did a lot of really wonderful things there. But I felt, there's a lot more that I needed to be doing. And then I became a parent, right? And becoming a parent really transformed my life, and that's the whole journey. That's what led me to Kunda Kids. But before that, when I left Cambridge, I'd left with the mindset that I want to build for Africa. That was always one thing that I left to my mind. That was always one thing that was in my mind when I left Cambridge. I want to build for Africa. And during the pandemic, it was, we just stuck home with a 1-year-old boy. Like, what do I do with this boy today? What do we do? And we started gathering content and realized everything I was gathering, the quality was inferior to what existed globally. So at Kunda Kids, our philosophy is, if it's not good enough to play along the best players in the world in that category, we don't do it. Wow,
that's amazing. So building Kunda Kids, right? And first of all, I love the product.
Yeah.
I actually use it. I have a son as well, so he loves it. But we'll go more into that. So if you just tell us a little bit about your journey and the struggles that you face building Kunda Kids.
Yeah, honestly, the two biggest challenges in this space coming out of Africa, right? One is talent, and the second is funding, right? A lot of times you don't find enough skilled people to work with, and that's because unfortunately our education system isn't great, and even people wouldn't go to university here to study animations or to study graphic designs or VFX and stuff like that. it doesn't happen so much because every parent wants you to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant, and the likes. So there's a huge shortage of talent. And two is the industry doesn't get a lot of funding. Getting a lot of the funding that we've had in Kunda Kids so far, it was a real hurdle. And that's because a lot of investors also don't understand the space.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't understand that this is $1 billion opportunity sitting right in front of them. And I'll tell you why. Today, 24% of children in the world are of African origin. That number will be 40% by 2040. When you look at countries in the diaspora today, maybe like Italy, schools are going to be closing down in 3 years' time. We don't have enough schools in Africa today, right? The children's edutainment space is going to be shifting. And if you're a player in that space and you're not catering to what kids of African descent need, you're going to be lagging behind as soon as 5 years from now. That's why you see Disney is investing in Africa, Netflix, everybody, Amazon, everybody's looking into Africa because Africa is the future. It's undeniable and all of that. So that's Kunda Kids. That's kind of what we do, and that's the opportunity that we're tapping in to really unlock this market and produce at a world-class level.
When you say world-class, right, you're not just producing for, although you're showcasing Africa, but you're producing in a world stage where, other countries will get to view this, and also in a good quality as well, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So one thing you need to know about Kunda Kids is we don't do things by chance, right? A lot of people that have come before us, their content has really struggled when it comes to traveling. And when I say traveling, what I mean is being relevant to people outside of your primary demographic that you're targeting. A lot of our predecessors, you won't find that their resources are relevant to, let's say, people in Germany or Switzerland somewhere. But Kunda Kids is different because we create with a world-class mindset. We're creating for the world. Although our primary audience are kids of African origin, we make sure we produce and benchmark with the best players in the world and match their quality. Say for instance, our books, we'll produce and print and illustrate at the same quality a Penguin or Macmillan will do. Say our animations, we'll try to match the key players in that space. I don't want to mention their names, so I'm not giving them any free advertisements. But yeah, so that's kind of what I mean by producing at a world-class level, and it's been able to reach people even outside of the core audience. And what you realize is Kunda Kids, a lot of what we've created is traveling, because schools in the UK have us all over Europe. We did some activities in Finland this year, and it was well received. That we're going to do a lot more in Finland. A lot of our competitors have not been able to pull that off, and that's because we don't produce by accident. We're very inside backed.
Yeah.
We do our research. We make sure what we're producing is right for the audiences, and most importantly, kids love what we're doing.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And you talked about kids, right? Loving what you're doing. I think one thing that I noticed, I was in Ghana,
yeah.
And you did the premiere launch in Ghana. I loved it. I saw the product. I saw how kids related to the product. I thought it was amazing. Obviously, I bought like a whole bunch of books.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, my son loves those books. And before going into details with the books and the characters and the app, you also did a premiere here in Lagos, right? If you want to talk about it and how that process went.
Yes. So for those that don't know, we produce animations at Kunda Kids. Mm-hmm. And one of the first things we did is we produced Kunda and Friends. That's our flagship animated series. It's a 3D preschool show. It's music-led. I'm proud to say we're the first all-African team to produce a show within that space at that level of quality. And we're super excited about that. Yeah. Now, when we produced Kunda and Friends, we premiered it at the London O2. It was a big experiment. The Cineworld, a cinema, the biggest cinemas in London. And we did the premiere there, and it was packed. It was packed. And from there, we realized we need to take this experience to people all over the world, not just in London. So we tried something in Nairobi. It was packed. It worked really well. And then we said, no, we're going to do a proper event with this. And that was what we did with Lagos, the Lagos premiere. The Lagos premiere was exciting. We booked 2 cinemas.
Wow.
And we did 6 screenings in the 2 spaces.
I'm so upset I couldn't be there.
Yeah, it's okay.
So upset I couldn't be there.
It was so interesting that children stood up, were dancing. Wow. Parents were also like dancing on their seat. And it's a kind of experience that hasn't really been done for children over here. And we saw that as an opportunity, and people are asking us for more. So we're going to do a lot more next year.
And it's funny because you look at fintech companies, they're getting
funding
left and right? Regardless of the competition, there's funding all over the place. When you look at animation, and you look at content like this, especially that caters to kids, being Africa the youngest continent, right, by far. And why is that? Why is there no funding around this, or pretty much not enough funding around this?
I'll say there are a lot of reasons, right? First, investors want to make money. And when they don't understand this space, or they've not seen somebody make money in a space, they get very skeptical, like, is this going to work? Or, why is it going to be you? And fair enough, I understand that. And when I speak with an investor and they're like, honestly, I can't invest because I don't understand this space enough, I'm like, it's okay. But I tell them, imagine you had the opportunity to invest in like a Disney before it even became what it is today. And then I try to show them a lot of the insight. But the other issues, a lot of those that have gotten funding in this space, they try to go for like grant funding. And because the space has been heavily dominated, the key players, a lot of them are going for a lot of grant funding. So investors are like, oh, this is probably like a grant play.
Like a social impact.
Exactly, like a social impact thing. And are we going to make our money back? But I tell them there's $1 billion opportunity here.
Yeah.
Right. And I show them the numbers. I show them the opportunity. And I'm like, can you see it? And they say, okay, yeah, this is true. And the question is now, will you be the one to pull it off? And I told them that, yeah, we're absolutely going to do this because that's all we do at Kunda Kids. And there's so many other factors, but like those are some of the main, those are some of the main ones that have affected the industry, where the industry hasn't gotten a lot of funding. But I think, right, in as soon as 2 to 3 years' time, you're going to find a lot of VCs, a lot of investors creating funds just to put in the creative space for Africa. It's going to be like the new fintech, and it's going to be wonderful when that phase comes. Yeah,
I totally agree. So in terms of talent, sourcing talent is always difficult, especially sourcing talent in this field of yours. They can be very challenging. How do you go about that? In terms of sourcing talent, I think your animation studio is actually based in Uganda, right? So how does that work, and how do you manage talent across?
So one of the things I'm very particular about is I really want to work with Africans.
Yeah.
Right? First of all, you just understand it. If I tell you, draw me a guy walking down the streets of Lagos and all, something like you put children rolling tire in the background.
Yeah.
There's no way, even if you walk to Disney and all of that, that little detail, there's no way you can know it if you've not been there or you work with someone that is there and knows that, just starting that's kind of like what you see in a typical streets corner in some parts of Lagos. So these are the things that we're saying, like, And there's not a lot of training in the space. There's not a lot of training. So there are a lot of nuances that artists don't know. And, as I mentioned, we're very particular about working with Africans as much as we can because they have the context and we try to really train. Now, talking about how we really source talent, we have a fantastic art director, Chike. And we're always on there for talents. Like, if you're really good in the creative space, please give us a call. We're always on there for talent. Whenever we find someone really good, we always find a way to work with them. The downside is the best artists in the world are so expensive. And if I show you one of our books, unfortunately the book is not here, but it costs more money to illustrate than the next 10 combined.
What's the name of the book?
A is for Africa.
I think I have that.
Yeah. A is for Africa.
I have that. I got it done. Yeah.
To illustrate.
Yeah.
And that was because there was a particular style. That book is a classic that should be in every household. And there's a particular style we wanted. And the artist is so expensive. But we're like, you know what, we're going to invest in this project to get this out there. So we have a really good art director that is always on the lookout for talent, always making sure things are happening and we're getting things done at a good level.
Oh, perfect. And shout out to Chike.
Shout out to Chike.
Yeah, I met Chike as well. So he's highly talented. So that's a good add-on to your team. So going from the books to the app, I downloaded the app.
Oh no.
Played with the app. My son loves the app.
No,
it's just amazing. I think the thing that really got me was it's so impressive to see that with the little amount of funding and lack of talent, you could produce something that is so amazing, right? The content is amazing. That you also have various langues, there for people who want to learn certain languages. Yeah. Like the concept around that, with lack of funding and really hard to get talent, it's just amazing. How you've actually brought that to life. And I'm just highly impressed on that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So you can download Kunda Kids app from the app. Is it on Android as well?
Yes, it's on the App Store, Play Store, and soon to be on Amazon.
Okay. Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah. What is your vision for Kunda Kids? Let's look at it down the road, kids.
So our vision, when we achieve this, maybe that's when we'll be like, oh, let's rest a bit. We want Kunda Kids to be in every household, first all over Africa. And when I say in every household, if you are not reading Kunda Kids books in your house, you should have the Kunda Kids app. If you don't have the Kunda Kids app, you're watching one of our animated series. If you are not doing that, you have our merchandise, our toys. Like, you need to have, if you're not doing that, then you need to be reading Kunda Kids in school. Wherever you are, every household, we want Kunda Kids to be there. And that's why our business model is very unique. Because we have this omni-channel approach whereby we try to capture you in different places. We can capture you in school or on the go, because our audio section is growing very fast. Whether you're at home, you can watch us on TV or read a book or get the app or whichever way. So that's a big vision. But as we build that, it's good because we're building a company on 5 pillars. The first is publishing, which you can see some of our amazing books here. Second is the app, which I've talked about. Third is our animated series. We're going to be producing many more animated series, not just one. There'll be multiple series. Fourth, there's going to be a lot of activations and experiences that Kunda Kids will be creating. So like you saw in Accra, that was just like an experiment, right? Mm-hmm. But we're going to scale that up in the coming years, but children all over the world can experience Kunda Kids in person. And the fifth pillar is about merchandise. That's where we see the $1 billion opportunity, where we develop a very strong merchandise line. today there's no very strong merchandise line coming out of Africa for kids, and we're gonna fill that gap with Kunda Kids merch.
Amazing. Yeah.
So
That's great.
yeah, so that's a big vision.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I like I said, I love it. I really want to see that vision come to life. There's just, besides me personally know you, obviously, I think you're an amazing CEO. And that's why I really wanted you on this show. So yeah, I guess we can conclude it. Is there anything you want to tell the audience before we close up?
Well, thanks for tuning in so far. If you don't have Kunda Kids in your household yet, I'm sure you're missing quite a lot. Just check it out for yourself and make a decision from there if you're going to stick with Kunda Kids. Thanks a lot for having me. It's been a pleasure sitting and chatting with you today. Super excited. And yeah.
No problem. Go get Kunda Kids. Download the app, get the book, website.
Yeah, www.kundakids.com, and we're at Kunda Kids everywhere. KUNDA KIDS.
Perfect. Thank you very much.